I'm still not recording. And folks was excited, but the tax exempt was something that really resonated with people at the couple events I had on yesterday and Wednesday, but definitely the one yesterday on Thursday. It was a topic not only publicly in a group setting, but also in a private setting as well. And so I mentioned to someone, as a matter of fact, yesterday, I said, I don't think I'm going to talk about tax exempt today on this Financial Fitness Fridays. And so here I am on this Financial Fitness Friday. This is speaker and coach Honey Shantae Adams. So for those of you who watch the replay, for those of you who jump on live, I greet you all with so much love and respect and honor. And so what I want to do is just jump right into the topic because my time is I have to start right on time today. So I may end a few minutes early than I normally would, but I want to talk to you all about tax exempt. And so some of y'all say, well, what is tax exempt, Shantae? Well, let's talk about that first. So before we get into any details, let's talk about what is tax exempt. And it means just what it says. It is someone who's not tax liable. So basically, I took some notes. I like to take notes, so make sure I'm staying on topic. And so the first one is, generally speaking, organizations and individuals are excluded from paying taxes. They're not liable for taxes at all in terms of on a federal level. And so federal income taxes, they're not liable. So in other words, they don't have to pay taxes. So that means they don't have to pay taxes. Or if they do, they may pay limited amount of taxes. And so they may not pay as if someone who does. And so who qualifies for a tax exempt, right? That may be a question someone may be wondering. So who qualifies, I should say, for tax exempt is typically someone who does nonprofit organizations such as churches. So most churches, if not all churches that are operating, they are tax exempt. And so are schools, as well as, interesting fun fact, a lot of research institutions are tax exempt. Did any of you all know that? Like, they are not required to pay taxes whatsoever. They're tax exempt rather. They're tax exempt. So that's a cool fact for those who may not know that. Actually, I didn't really always know that. So cool to know that. And so individuals now we talked about nonprofit organizations, right? Charitable events, charitable organizations, schools, and things of that nature. Now, when it comes to the individual level, the obvious reason why an individual will fall into this category initially is because they don't have to, if they didn't work the previous year, then they don't have to pay taxes because they didn't work. So they're not held tax. So they automatically go into tax exempt because they did not work. So they're not required. So the IRS can say, hey, you owe us taxes even if you didn't work. Now none of us are like that. Like how you gonna take for something that don't have nothing, right? But if you're working, then obviously you have to pay the taxes. So, but if an individual is not working, they are automatically tax exempt. So that's how that will go for an individual. Now, what if it was something? Now let's switch it up a little bit. I'm pivoting it a little bit. So, what if there was an actual account that one can invest in or even save that was actually tax exempt? And this is what sparked a lot of the questions that we were having yesterday at our gathering where I was empowering families. And so this is the hung up that some people just didn't get it. So before I get into the tax exempt, let's talk about the 3 ways people are taxed on their money in general. So the first one they're taxed on is called tax now, right? So tax now is all your money being taxed. That's all your income, no matter if it comes from your job, doesn't matter if it comes from your stocks, your savings, your checking, doesn't matter if it comes from your mutual funds. So mutual funds, these are all bonds, these are all taxed now. So all your money is being taxed, right? So that's taxed now. So most people get that one. Most people who understand if you're working, you're a W-2 employee, the IRS is going to take your gross and leave you with a net pay. And so then it becomes what we call tax later. So this is the second way that your money is being taxed. It's taxed later. So we were talking about the tax later. That means those who have money that they're investing, like a 401k or something like that, or a traditional IRA, for example, or even a pension. Those are ones that are taxed later. So I asked the question in this gathering. I asked it at both gatherings, the one I had Wednesday and the one I had on Thursday, which was yesterday. I asked the question, I said, do you think taxes will go up or do you think taxes are going down? And to my surprise, actually it was not to my surprise, but everyone said taxes are going to go up, most likely. It will not go back down. And I said, you're absolutely right. So then the bigger question becomes, why do people put their money there? Why is that the go-to? There's nothing wrong with you doing it if you choose to do so. So I'm not here to say you shouldn't do that. But I'm just wondering, why is that the go-to? And I have a theory of why. I should say I should have a theory, but what I've seen, and I come from HR, so I guess I get why this is the answer for most people. It's because that's what we kind of been taught. That's kind of what we've been conditioned to think. That's the way we conditioned to believe. Matter of fact, that's pretty much all we know for many people. Now, not to say everyone, because some people may know otherwise. But however, for those who only know that way, that's all we know. If you're not taught no better way, then how are you gonna know to do a better way? If you're not exposed to it, it's not been revealed to you, it's not been shown to you, it's not been taught to you, you have no knowledge about it, then you won't know to do better. You won't know there's another option. You don't know there is an actual option B or another option on the table. You only know that's the only thing presented on the table. So a lot of times when people start a job or they start their career, they start whatever they're doing in the workforce, when you start a job, they give you new hire paperwork. Like I said, I come from HR, almost 2 decades of it. I understand how it goes. They're going to give you new hire paperwork, and they give you a retirement plan. And they say, hey, invest here. We'll match you. And which is great, they match you, especially if a company matches you 5-7%. You put that in, they match you, that's 14% or 10%, right? So that's pretty good. But they don't tell you about other options that's actually on the table for most Americans. And actually, it's called the tax exempt category. But before I get there, let me finish about the tax later. So those who have the tax later, they defer their taxes. So typically it's called tax deferred. So they're deferring it, which is okay if that's what you choose to do. But then you pay the tax on the back end, right? Those in the IRS come and say, hey, we're going to take this money because this is now our money now, and you grew it. And so when I asked the question about, do you think taxes are going to go up or do you think taxes are going to go down? Most people said, matter of fact, the analysis said taxes are going to go up. So you're just deferring the inevitable. Because in reality is, if the tax is going to continue to go up, that means all that you're saving, all your hard work, whether it be in an IRA or even a 401k, is subject to that. It's subject to them taking that. And you're putting all this in there, you're matching, they're matching it, and you letting them take it. Now, most people say, well, that's what it is, that's all we know. And that's all people do, is because that's all they know. They say, I'd rather get something than nothing. And I agree, something is always better than nothing. We always agree on that one. But however, it's so important to know options are out there. And so this is what I want to present to you all. So there are actually options out there that will actually work better for you to save and take tax advantage. And so that tax exempt is actually a tax advantage. Because sometimes when you're growing your money, you make your money, we want to save on taxes. What entrepreneur, what employee, what business owner does not want to save on taxes? We all do. Matter of fact, I asked that question. Who wants to save on taxes? Everyone says. Who wants that? But then how come we put it in an account that we get our taxes taken from us? Just food for thought. Just something to ask yourself. Why are we doing it? And sometimes you might say, I didn't know no better. And when I sit down with someone, they say, I just didn't know. I didn't know that was an option, Shantae. And I say, yeah, that is other options out there. And so now let's talk about the tax advantage, or we can call it the tax exempt. And so the tax exempt is actually an account where your money is deferred. Whether you are a nonprofit or a profit organization, whether you are individual or whether you are a team or LLC or a corporation or solo proprietor. So all these different things, there's an account that's for you. And like I said, it's called the tax exempt or tax advantage. And so the tax advantage gives you to actually, you may pay a little tax in the beginning. You pay that in the beginning, actually, just a little, like just a little. And so when you pay that little, guess what? All your gains is yours. Let me say that again for somebody in the back who may not heard me. All your money gained on the back end is your money. All of it. That's yours. It's not subject to the IRS being taxed when you fall within the parameters that's allotted to you. So you fall into that category, okay, hey, I'm doing this, and it's going into the tax exempt account. And so what accounts, Shantae, goes into those categories? So I'm glad you asked me. So the first one is a Roth IRA. That actually does go into, that falls into the category of tax advantage. That's why many people have it. Sometimes employers even offer that within their 401k. Say, hey, you're going to get this, you ain't going to lose some money putting in a Roth IRA or Roth 401k, a Roth and a 401k. And so what they're doing is they're trying to so what they're doing is two things at one time. They say, oh, save your money here. You may lose it. It's tax exempt. We understand that it's subject to laws and all the fees you got to pay in your taxes, all these fees they take out of your 401k, and we understand that it's not protected money because it's in the market. But you got this Roth that's actually gets tax advantages, which is true. Very true. You get tax advantage. It's in a tax advantage account, which is tax exempt. But fun thing to know about a Roth. So one thing you do want to know about a Roth, and this is me giving you fine print now, is that a Roth, although it's in a tax exempt account, means it's an account that gets tax advantage. That means all your gain in your Roth is your gains. You only pay the taxes in the beginning. Just that for a Roth. But however, Roth is not protected. It's subject to loss because it's in the market. So it's subject to loss. It goes up and down. And then guess what? You can only put in so much in there. Yes, you can only put so much in there. That means it has an income limit. Many people know that because when I sit down and talk to people, people know that. And sometimes we just accept things just because that's all we know. We just go with the flow. Don't we just do that? We do that often. We just go with the flow instead of saying, you know what, let me question that. Why is that like that? Are there other options out there? Is this the only thing? Let me do some research and see if there's some other options. So we want to start doing that a little bit more. But the good news is that I'm doing some of that for you right now. So you don't have to do that. I'm gonna tell you some of the other options out there is. So that's good news, right? So I got some energy today right now, don't I? I'm enjoying myself as we're speaking. I enjoy what I do. So clearly I enjoy what I do. So it's a blessing. And I get to serve and pour out others. And then to provide that for them and be a blessing. So I enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely from my heart enjoy it. It's a blessing. It's a privilege. It's an honor. And I do thank the Lord for that. I don't take it for granted. So I'm providing things and changing, impacting families. It's my mission. It's my cause. I want to take a minute just to acknowledge that. It is a cause. It's my part of my calling. It is something I am graced to do, anointed to do, called to do, appointed to do, and I do it with sincere love and respect to others, educating them, empowering them. The event yesterday, the gathering yesterday, and then one before, it was so good. It was so good. People were so blessed, and it was just my goodness. So I am having them, and I will be traveling, doing these, having them here where I live, and meeting with people. If you are in it, I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to just publicly put it out there. But however, I will reach out to those who are in my neck of the wood, and I want to have that with more people. It's life changing. Some of these things that it's been released, the new concepts, new way of thinking. It's just revolutionizing how we look at things and how families can be empowered and pin them on the path that are really going to create the dream life they desire and that they want to go after and they're pursuing. And they just didn't know it was out there. So it's really a blessing to be able to be a blessing and to be able to go out there and pour out on families, empower families, entrepreneurs, business owners, those who are looking to seek and do things great and just they know where to go, they know where to start. Some of them who thought it was not even possible, like I said, they didn't know that it was another option on the table. Let's go back to the 401k. They thought it was just the 401k or a traditional IRA. Maybe about a Roth, but that's about all. So let's talk for the next couple of minutes. Let's talk about the account that does actually provide tax exempt and is not subject to loss. And that's called the LRP. Now, I'm not going to go into too much details about it because I want you to sit down and talk with me because I think this is more of a detailed conversation. I had a gentleman yesterday, and I say this. He saw the tax exempt account. He saw the LIRP. He said, wait a minute, Shantae, what is that? I sent him tons of videos on there. Matter of fact, he and I talked about it early this morning, my time zone, early in the morning about it again. He was so impressed by it. He said, man, if I would have known this when I was younger, do you know how my money would have been? I would have known he saved on taxes, how it would have grown, this and this and that. I said, I know, right? He was so genuinely blown away. Watch the videos. I mean, just everything. Not only that, he's coming to our event. I'm having, side note, having an event in Utah, Salt Lake City. I hope to see you all there in Salt Lake City. Breaking barriers. We are breaking barriers. We are breaking barriers. It's our Wealth Bowl. I'm excited about it, fired up about this. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, you want a breakthrough? You want things to change in your life? You want to have the life you desire? I'm telling you, you got to come there. You got to be in the building. You got to be in Salt Lake City. You got to say, hey, Shantae, I want to go to Salt Lake City. I want to break barriers. I'm tired of the same vicious cycle. From January to December, it's the same thing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's multiplying. I'm losing money. I'm not gaining like I want to gain. I'm not multiplying like I want to multiply. I'm not seeing those things. I want to come. I want to break barriers. It's my breakthrough season. Breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthrough. Breaking barriers, breaking chains, stagnation, limitations. Hello, somebody. Hello. Not just in our finances, but in our mindset, our way of thinking, our families, our children, all those things. Okay? We break some barriers. Let's break them and break the chains and let them stay broken. Destroyed. Destroyed. Okay? So let's do that. So if you want to know more details about that, you got to holler at your girl. You got to say, Shantae, what you talking about? I tell you what I'm talking about. And that's coming this fall. And it's in Salt Lake City. So if you want to go with me to Salt Lake City and you say, I want to break some barriers, not just in finances. Finances is just one. Maybe it's a mindset. Maybe something comes in a generational. I shared at the gathering yesterday I shared the gathering. I said, someone I know who's a founder. And he has set up 12 generations. So he broke barriers. He was used as a vehicle, as a person, to help break those barriers for his generation. 12 generations he set up for life. 12 generations. Sometimes we try to set up just one or maybe two, maybe perhaps three. He has 12 already set up. Already set up. So breaking barriers, I'm telling you, is this fall. It's in Salt Lake City. I have not ever been to Salt Lake City. I've heard it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The mountains. I'm looking forward to going. And I hope to see some of y'all there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just message me. I'll be happy to tell you more about it. But it's going to be this fall. And I'm excited. I'm going to be there, and I hope to see you in the building. Not only just you, but bring your family. Bring somebody else with you. Help them break barriers too. This is not only just breakthrough, but breaking barriers, breaking limitations. Sometimes people have self-imposed, self-inflicted limitations that they put on their life. Sometimes, and how they do that? Sometimes with the wrong thinking. Sometimes with negative self-talk. I talked about this last week. And then I've seen that people are really dealing with this. This is a real life issue. This breaking barrier is so timely. I mean, so timely. So timely. And if you want to see that for your life, then I encourage you to be there. This is a side note. I know I'm just like, I didn't add that in. I didn't switch up gears on you guys. But however, I just want to put that out there because it's super important. And I'm one, if you notice about me, for those who have been tracking with me for the length of time I've been doing this, I think it's been like a year now, maybe over a year. I don't know exactly the time I've been doing this. But however, it has changed my life, and I'm seeing that in others. And it's a blessing to come back and pour out on you guys and to love on you guys and to share information. Because when I get information, I want to share with you guys. So this is something I'm putting you guys on. And it's so important. And so for those who are following me, those who have been listening and listening from the distance or maybe listening up close, whoever you are, I'm saying this is an opportunity to break some barriers. And sometimes breaking barriers in your business. Hello, somebody. Breaking barriers in the business. Sometimes it's barriers, it's limitations in our business. We're trying to press through and we're pressing through. Like, well, what is it that I'm not doing that's holding me back? Why is sister so-and-so and he and so-and-so doing it? I should be doing it too. Not to say we're comparing it because you don't want to compare. But you do take inventory, you do self-reflection. Like, okay, I can do this too. I should be doing this too. Where is the limitation at? What am I not doing that I could be doing that I should be doing? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break the barriers. Even for myself, I'm excited about that. I know I spent like 5 minutes talking about that, but that's how serious it is. And that's how pumped up and excited I am for it. Because I know that, hey, there's nothing wrong with breaking barriers or breaking barriers to the next level. Sometimes it's breaking barriers to the next level. Sometimes you may be doing everything right and you're successful, do everything the right way, but there's like another level, another realm to go to, a higher dimension to go to, and you got to break, oh my goodness, I feel fired up about that. You have to go to that level, that next level. And it's a barrier that wants to block you from getting there. But hey, we're going to close out the year, go into the new year with total freedom. Freedom in our business, freedom in our pockets. Hello, somebody. Freedom in our mindset, freedom in our way of thinking, freedom in our household, freedom in marriage. Breaking barriers in marriage. I mean, this breaking barriers is not just for one thing. Breaking barriers is a multiple things that can happen simultaneously. Simultaneously. Sometimes it just requires a decision. So I'm pumped up about it, you guys. As you can see, I'm fired up about it. I'm fired up about it because, listen, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I'm excited to see you all at the Salt Palace. Listen, the Salt Palace. Listen, this thing is so prophetic. Salt Palace. Salt. We're going to put salt on the earth. We're bringing salt. We're bringing good news. Not that salt that's not good. That salt that's bitter. That salt that's contaminated. No, that salt that's pure. Pure salt. In Salt Lake City. Good news. I'm just saying, man. Woo! Fired up. Okay. Back to the tax exempt. So back to that account that does that. So that account I was telling y'all, the LRP, with the gentleman that was so fired up and excited about it. He talked to me about it early this morning again. He's decided to talk to people about it. I mean, he just, that blew his mind, and it blows people's mind when I sit down and talk with them, because they're like, I didn't know this was existed. I know you can do this. I said, I know, it's real. I didn't always know either. But see, I know it. My job is to bring the good news to you, that it actually does exist, and you actually don't pay tax on all your gains. All your gains is yours, whereas the tax later or the tax deferred, all your money is taxed later. Whereas this one, all your money is tax-free. How about that good news? That's some good news right there on your Friday. On your fantastic Friday. That's some good news. So I would encourage you all. And by the way, remember I talked about the Roth IRA is up and down. It's subject to market loss because it actually still in the market. Whereas this tax exempt, the LRP, is not. Your money is protected. Protected money. Remember, if you guys watch me long enough, you know I talk about protecting your money all the time. That's one of the things I talk about quite often. Like, quite often. Like, I don't know how much, I probably say it maybe every other time I come on his live. I often talk about it. But however, your money is not lost. It's protected. It's protected. It's protected money. How good is that? I'm telling you, I'm fired up. How good is that? That's some good news, y'all. That's good news. Sometimes we hear about so many reports of bad news, so many this and that going on. But man, every now and then we want some good news. We want something to be joyful about. We want something to be like, you know what? That's what's up, Shantae. Thank you for sharing. Now I'm sharing, but let's do something about it. Let's make it happen. It ain't hard to make these things happen. We just got to do it. But I did want to make sure you guys are aware. And the whole purpose of me saying it today is that you know there's options on the table. And those options are worth exploring. Those options are worth digging into deeper. Those options are maybe saying, you know what, maybe this might be a better option for my family. Remember, I'm here to empower families. I'm here to empower families. I'm here to empower the community. I'm here to empower entrepreneurs. Because entrepreneurs, we want to save on our taxes too. Hello, somebody. Hello. I know I do. I'm a witness. And I am. So my job is to come back and tell you about it. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I go talking to families, which is why I had a gathering yesterday, which is why there was a gathering on Wednesday, which there would be another gathering, and another gathering, another gathering, another gathering, another gathering, until I'm able to reach so many families across this country, traveling, in person, coming to your home, speaking to you and your family, in person. In person. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. This new art of living, the way the families are being transformed. People are on a pathway of not just creating. This is the thing. This is the beauty of that too. Let me just say this on a side note. I went into a whole lot of details. And this is two things I did at the gathering I had on Thursday and the one I had on Friday. We talked about generational wealth and generational income. There's a difference between the two of them. Now today, because for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that right now. Maybe the next time I come on here, we'll talk about, I may just do that. Maybe the topic next week. I may put that as a side note. Let me put that note to myself. So maybe the next time I come on this live, God willing, we'll talk about generational wealth and generational income. I'll make a note. All right, made a note to myself. So The topic just coming into me while I'm live. So, but yes, but that was another topic of discussion yesterday, and we talked about it on Wednesday. It was very good. It was so eye opening. I mean, so eye opening. And that's what this new art of living I'm doing, this mission I'm on, this campaign I'm on, this cause I'm on, that it is amazing because it really does transform the way we think and how we have saw things. It is so good. It is such a blessing, and I enjoy it, and I hope to be a blessing to you all, and I hope I was a blessing to you all today. With that being said, you all know how to get in contact with me. If you don't know, you listen, my number, my email, my link is in my bio. It's on Facebook, it's on IG. You guys can reach out to me. I love to hear from you, even your feedback. Put some comments, put some emojis, and show some love in the comments. Let me know what you guys got out of here, what value you got out of here, what you're going to take, what you're going to apply right away, because we action oriented around here. Let's make it happen. So what are you going to do today? What's something that you learned today that you say, I need to apply this? Maybe you may be applying it, but maybe you need to tell your children about it. Maybe you need to tell a coworker about it. Maybe you need to tell a family member about it. Tell somebody. Share this video with someone. Let them know that, hey, you may want to reach out to Shantae. Reach out to Coach Honey. Talk to speaker and Coach Honey Shantae. She may be able to tell you and show you some options that you didn't know that were on the table for you and your family. Maybe not even for your family, maybe for yourself. Maybe for your business. Maybe for your employees, maybe for your staff. And I would love to come and talk to your staff. I would love to come talk to your team, your employees, your family, yourself. And so with that being said, I hope to connect with you all further. I hope to speak with you all. With that being said, I'll end this live today. It was such a pleasure, a blessing to speak with you all on Facebook and here on IG. God bless you all. Again, this is Speaker and Coach Honey Shantae. You accomplish much and you go further with honey than vinegar. Here, we like to put honey in the money. Talk to you all later.